Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
August 11th, we have 8:30. We have some red folder CPI report from the U.S. They are significant sometimes, so we're going to be careful with U.S. pairs around the 8:30 mark. The core CPI, that's all at 8:30. And then at 10:30, we have crude oil inventory reports, which is going to be, that usually does move the Canadian market, oftentimes with the U.S. CAD trades. If we're looking at that, we may get some volatility at 10:30. So those are the main ones. There's another one here later at 11 o'clock tonight. These are orange folders, the last ones. The crude oil inventory is orange, but I have seen that move the British or the U.S. and the CAD pairs significantly. So we'll keep those timeframes in mind. And see what's hot, what's not. Look at our Hercules chart. And right now we're looking at the New Zealand is strong on the higher time frames, and we have an Aussie British on the lower time frames. So right now it's kind of a mishmash right now, but I'd be looking primarily. The Swiss is weak on all four, so we'd be trading against the Swiss, and we can maybe look at the Aussie Swiss to start with. I like usually looking at the upper left-hand corner is the 1 hour chart. The upper right-hand corner is the 30-minute chart. Then we have the 15 on the lower left, and then we have the 5 on the lower right. And I usually focus for scalping. I usually focus on these two with somewhat confirmation off the 30-minute. The 1 hour doesn't play too much of a factor in the scalping trades that we take, but the 30, 15, and 5 are the three that I usually generally look at primarily. So let's take a look at the Aussie Swiss. And maybe the Aussie US might be an option to take a look at. So I did look at a New Zealand USD earlier. Not really seeing a whole lot. That's already it's kind of out of the chute right now. So let's take a look at the Aussie Swiss. And so we're going to start right from the beginning, then how we're going to draw our charts. I always start with a 15-minute chart, and I put our Atlas tool on, find out where our zones are, where the levels are. And you can see that we have right now we're between a green zone and a blue zone. So right in between, this is pretty much of a 62 area that you can see us bouncing up for the last few days. And it's coming up in the upper part of this zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 15-minute, I'm just going to highlight this just so we can see it a little bit better. And this is a 15-minute green zone. And we have our 15-minute blue zone right down below. And that pretty much takes care of that. So these are my main, this is our playground we're playing in right now.
Excuse me, Al?
Yes.
There are several new people in the room, so maybe you can explain what those lines are. Like, where did you get those lines from?
Okay. Thank you. The lines that I'm drawing right now, this is part of an Atlas tool, which what we use is basically a Fibonacci-based algorithm that's programmed onto the chart. And basically what it does, it finds key price areas where institutions tend to take their trades, and their levels where the price usually goes to, and you'll see some reaction usually at these institutional levels. Now, what we have done in the past, and I'm just trying to save a couple steps here because it doesn't really make much difference, is we draw a normal Fibonacci chart like we usually have just off the platform. And we find the upper 25% of the zone and the lower 25% of the zone. And then we draw a box. This defines our playground. This defines the upper part of the curve. This actually defines our curve of where the price has been pretty much settling in. So this is the upper 25, that's going to be red. And then here's the lower 25%, which is going to be the green zone. That basically forms our supply and demand zone, and the upper part and lower 25% of the curve. This is green. So, and that's pretty much what we'll do with this. Now, one thing I've noticed as I've been playing around with this a little bit more, in order to save some time and save some extra steps, I come over to now on the 15-minute chart, you'll see that these zones are basically, they're 62 pips apart. If I take my scroll on the normal pair, like just Aussie Swiss, anything other than the Japanese pairs for the most part, these zones are basically 62 pips apart. When I go to the 5-minute chart, we have this, it's the same tool, the same Atlas tool, but this one we have set up on the 15-minute chart, I have to set up for 15 minutes. When I go to my 5-minute chart, I set it up for 5 minutes. Now, what that really does, it breaks this this area right in here, it divides that into thirds. So when I go from my 15-minute to my 5-minute, what it does, it breaks that this 15-minute green and the 15-minute blue zones, which is right here. It breaks that up into thirds, and you can see that as I draw and I have the same red and green lines. Basically, they're blue, red, green, then back to blue again. You can see that this upper third right here is where my 5-minute lines are, and this is red. And actually, we have a video that once we get it approved, we're going to be able to get that video out to everybody. It basically has a trade plan on how we go about taking our trades and what we're actually looking for when we do take these. So that was 15-minute, 5-minute green, I believe it was. 5-minute green is right here. Then we have 5-minute red zone right there. So I'm going to put a red, and I make these dotted lines. Okay. So now you'll find out this range in here is about 21 pips, which is basically 1/3 of the other one, roughly about 21 pips. And so we're starting to break this thing down into thirds. If I come over here to my 1-minute chart, I'll do the same thing again. Only this time they're going to be 2-minute relative frames. And so when I put these up, it'll break this 15-minute and 5-minute period. It'll break these into thirds. And as I slide this thing over here a little bit. Now, what I've noticed, what I've been doing, and you're only looking at about a pip difference. So in order to save a little bit of time and drawing times, and you can see that here's my green line on my 2-minute chart, and that's at 62, 67, 62. This is at 67, 82, 67, 80. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to move this right up to the green line.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you. Would it be possible to expand the one chart that you're working on? It's hard to see with the three of them side by side like that.
Okay.
It's better, yeah.
All right, there we go.
Better that way, yeah.
So now I have basically this is the same. This line here is the same as it's basically it's the blue line on the 2 minutes, blue line to 5 is a green line on 15. But here this is broken down into thirds. And so right now I've got, this is my supply zone. This is where the high on the curve. And so I've got and these zones are basically 7 pips apart. So basically what we're looking for is we're looking for a price action to have a move up into this, one of these higher time frame zones, which is the 5 or the 15, not so much with the 7 pips. These are where we use these for our targets and our stops, pretty much. But when I get a 5-minute close, when I go to my 5-minute chart, and when I get a candle that closes which this blue candle right here did close above this red line. So with that, if our Hercules is saying that the Australian dollar is still strong by a straight of 3, I can take this trade on the pullbacks. In other words, I can take this trade on a buy right now, because right now we want to be long. It crossed over this zone. It's coming back to retest it. And so I can now take this trade based on this close above, close above, and still within the 7 pip range that we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to go and take this thing long. So I'm going to go here to buy. Check my spread. Make sure that right now it's a 2.3 spread, which is about as high as I'm comfortable doing. I'm going to take a buy, and I'm just going to do a market buy on this. And you see that the spread now got me in. This is where my fill is because of the spread. And if I go to my 2-minute chart here, I'm going to make this green one a little bit highlighted. This is going to be a 2-minute green. Anyways, that should sync. Let's see. 2-minute green, and then there should be a 2-minute. Oh, here we go. Looking at this one right here. Should be another 2-minute zone right in this area. So basically, I can take this trade anywhere from this line to here. I'm looking for, and I'm still okay. I'm in the trade now. If it pulls back here, I'll take another position to this area. So right in this area. So it's okay to take this trade when it closed above the red line, and I can take it here when it pulls back to the red line, or if it pulls back to here, I can still take this trade as long as it's within the 7 pip range. So then that's one position here I could take, and I could take another position here. I could just wait for it to come back if I want to, but right now with a 5-minute close above this area, I'm good to take this trade. We have everything still moving on the 5-minute chart. It's still moving. It's still well with it. We still have the Atlas is still saying, or Hercules is still saying that the Aussie is still. We still have a 3-point spread here. The Aussie is stronger. The Aussie is the first currency of the pair, and therefore and that's the green color line here. When they pulled back, I was able to take that trade. Now I can take another trade right in this area, which is 7 pips. That's 75 to 68. So right in this area here, I can take this trade. It should be a 2-minute blue line right about in. Two minutes. Let's see.
Oh, it doesn't look like you have a 2-minute blue.
Well, I'm just trying to see it. Let me see where it is here. Let me get on my 1-minute chart here. Actually, it's 2-minute red is what it is. It's a 2-minute red line.
I thought you said blue.
Well, I did say blue, but I meant red. So right here is the 2-minute line is right here. So that's basically I can take this trade in this area right where this arrow is. So I'm good up here. I can wait till a pull back here if I want to. I'm going to try and get into this trade because I think we have the strength to the upside on this pair. So I'm in that trade. And let's see, this is the Aussie Swiss. Let me check my other chart here. And we have a buy on that. And so once we're in this trade, let me get to the 1-minute chart here. And once we're in the trade, I'm going to put my target. Here's my take profit of 7 pips. My stop loss is going to be 15. And so my stop is going to be down here by this. Like I just said, these are basically 14 pips apart or 7 pips apart. So here's 7, 14. I usually like 15 pip stops. So I'm going to move this down just below the screen line. And I said, if it comes back here, I'll take another position. If it comes back here, I may take another position, just move this out of the way just a little bit. And then if I get, but my stop would be very close to this one. So I'll allow it to go 15 pips against me before I would take a stop out. But right now we're looking at this being going in the upper direction. And my target is going to be up here. The first 7 pip target is going to be right here. Now this is a spread. You got 2 pip spread. So that's why the target is 7 pips. Anything between 5 and 7 pips, I'm good to take it. So if the price comes right up to this green line and it just hovers around there, I'll just close that trade out manually, take my 5 pips, and then wait for another pullback back to the red line. And that's how we're going to play this. Does anybody have any questions so far?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not yet here.
Now, what I liked about this move is we had a nice strong move up. This candle right here, let me take this off here, since we have the lines already marked. If I look at the mark of this right there, that's a 740. So when the 739 candle closed, which is this blue candle right here, closed above the red line, so I know that that's my 5-minute close. When I look at this, the price action on this, I like this strong move up, got the close above, came back. I can take it, I guess I can take the trade here, or I can take it all the way back down, and then the target's going to be up here. Now I'm allowed to take this all the way down to here. More often than not, you can take it pretty much down to where the start of this first push up is. And that'd be about halfway, but I mean, either way, this is only 3 pips from here to here. But anyway, anywhere is between this red line and this, once it breaks above, you can take the trade anywhere between here and here, you're fine to take the trade. If it pulls back much more than that, then more than likely these things are going to be flipping over significantly to where you may not want to be taking that trade. Or you just wait for them to flip back over to where you have the Aussie and the US, the Aussie and the Swiss franc to be working in the right direction. Now, so the reason why this is up here is because that was what the spread was. We had almost a 3-point spread, 2.5-point spread. So when the price was at this red line, the spread got me in up here. That's because of the spread. That's just the nature of the beast of trading. So right now we're in this trade, and I'm looking for this to be my first target. And I've got a little bit above here, which is going to bring us right up into our supply zone. And then we wait, and then we go on to look for the next one. I'm going to set an alert, pretty much. I'm going to set an alert right at my, I'll set an alert right about in this area right here, just to see if it starts pulling back. I'll take a look at it, and we'll reassess some of the price action on this.
Excuse me, Al.
Yes.
You have a couple of questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
If you'd like to read them
and
answer.
Let me hang on. Let me get this Aussie Swiss. Create an alert right there, and let's see the Q&A. Will this be available to Auvoria general membership? See, I've always been
above that
1-to-1. Why is there a 2-to-1 here? Let me take the first question first. The question is about the risk reward of 1-to-1. When you're scalping, which is what we do pretty much in here, you're looking at pretty much of a 7 pip target. If you have a spread of 2 pip spread, if you do a 1-to-1, you're more than likely going to get stopped out just by the spread. So because we're scalping and because we're going for such small price movements, we pretty much have a 2-to-1. Rarely do we get stopped out on the. If I have a 7 pip target, by the time it comes back to my 15 pip stop, I'm more than likely going to be looking at getting out of the trade anyway. This just keeps us out of harm's way from the basic price action when you're on these lower time frames. So that's one reason why we pretty much do a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 risk to 1. But like I said, more often than not, it may come back down. It may come back to maybe 10 pips against us, which is just basic price action. they still keeps us out of harm's way without getting ourselves stopped out by the brokers. The market makers, when you're in live trades, they can see where your stops are, they see where your targets are, and they'll do some stop hunting. They'll just drive it down looking for some stops down around this area. And more than likely, what happens if you did a 1-to-1 with a 7-pip target, you're really looking at getting yourself stopped out more often than not. That's why we do that. The next question would be, when will this be available to general membership? When will this, when you say this, what are you referring to this? Are you talking about the trade plan?
Indicators.
The indicators. Your guess is as good as mine. We're working on getting these programmed over into the TradingView charts. We are working on that. They did have a little bit of a problem with the transfer of the candles from one chart to the other, and be able to carry the indicators over. When it's going to be available is your guess is as good as mine. That's one reason why we're not opposed to showing you what these levels are. And you can just see what these, I mean, we're giving you these levels right here. And so that's going to help you with that. And the RCS tool, it's already available for TradingView. We just have to get the Auvoria Prime to be able to get how they're going to market this thing and how they're going to make it available. So that's working. They're working on it in the back office. I wish I had a date for you on that. Unfortunately, I don't. But as soon as I do, I'll let you know. Okay.
And also the trade plan, which I assume it's once we go to the new platform, where we're actually hoping it's going to be this month at some point. But
yeah, I'm gonna check with Josh today and find out what the time frame is on that. We did, Brian and I put together a trade plan to give you a little bit idea about pretty much what I just described here in the setup. We have one for a short position. We're going to do another one for a long position. It takes a little while to make these videos, but we have the video made. We sent it to compliance last night. Hopefully we'll have an answer. Mariska will give us her endorsement on it, and we will be able to make that trade plan available for you in the very near future.
To your question, like Al just said, they're working on making these indicators so that they're available on both TradingView and MT4. So
there's a little bit of a programming factor that goes involved because MT4's programming is not compatible with TradingView, and it's a whole nother programming language, and having to transfer the scripts from an MT4 platform to a TradingView language, and that's what's causing some of the problems. We have programmers working on that. I know they ran into a little bit of glitch. I talked to Tyler down in Orlando, and he was saying that they ran into a programming glitch with it, but they're working on it. And unfortunately, right now, some of these people have gotten sick. I know Tyler. I think he's down a little bit with COVID right now, so they're not doing a whole lot of anything. But we're staying on top of it and just we can kind of come up with here. So that's about all I can say about that. We'll get it to you. Trust me, we're as anxious to get it to you guys as you are to be able to be getting it. So just bear with us. That's all I can say. Meanwhile, while you're in this room, we're giving you all the settings for these different levels here. So, like I said, the main thing is you look and see if you can catch the 15-minute and catch the 2 15-minute zones, which is pretty much our starting point. And then you just divide that into thirds and divide those thirds into thirds, and that'll give you your numbers. Okay.
Now, can I ask another question on that? Regarding that.
Okay.
The 15-minute fibs they're different, are they not, for each pair?
No, they're not.
It doesn't matter what pair you have.
Doesn't matter what pair the numbers are.
Because I know when I was in Brian's swing, I tried to mark them down, and they were different.
Well, they will be different because of the time clock. The clock. The clock. When I say the clock, I'm talking about this little factor right here. We have now when Brian's doing his. He's using weekly and daily, or daily and 4 hour. I think he may even have an 8-hour clock on his as well. So when you're on the higher time, when you're swing trading, you're using different different values here, and it's going to give you different ranges. But it's all based on a number line. It's not based on. It's basically based on the price of the pair or the indice that you're looking at, not so much the what the indice itself is. Now it is a little bit different with the Japanese with the yen pairs, because the yen is you're looking at basically 100 yen to $1, whereas most of the other factors are you're looking at pretty much of a dollar point something as opposed to $100 point cents. We're going out to 4 digits here with the most of the pairs, except for the yen pairs, we're only going out 2 digits. And that's why there's a little bit of a difference with that. But if you look at the, like I said, if I pull up, now the numbers are going to be different if I'm on an Aussie pair, which is like a 68 cent to a 68 cents to the Swiss franc. The numbers are going to be different just because of where they are on the number line, but the spreads are going to be the same. Okay, so they're just basically they're calculated, they're algorithmic calculations on a number line from 1 to 0.0000 something. But it's all calculated but it has nothing to do with price. It just has nothing to do with where it falls on a scale of 1 to 2, between $1 and $2, basically. Okay. And so that's about all I have to say about that. Any other questions?
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look and see if there's anything else that's changing around here. And we have the British is strong. British is strong. The dollar is weak. So right now the British USD is, we're looking at strength on the dollar. So I'm going to go to the British USD. Put that on the chart. And again, here we'll start with a 15-minute chart. Let's see where we are with our curve. Here's our blue line. Here's our red line. Now, if you keep in mind that these lines they go from blue to green to red back to blue, and then it just repeats itself. So right now the price is right here at the blue line, the 138.40 area. And so I'm going to draw between the blue. I'm just going to set the stage here. Here's my blue. Now, the blue lines are actually the more, have the more strength, the more value as far as than the red and the green ones. The blue lines are significantly stronger to break through than the red and the green ones are. So there's my blue. Here's my red. So here again, here are the numbers. The numbers for this one are 137.78 and 130. Let me see. 138.36. So this was top 138.36. I believe that's right. And there's the blue right there. Now I'll bring my red one. 38.78. Let's back that up just a little bit here. All right, just plug it in right here on the coordinates, 38.78. 1.3878. 3778 on one. Okay, got that one. And then we're going to make this one red so I know what color it is. 15-minute red. So here's my playground. Come over here to my 5-minute. Remember I said these are going to be the red and blue. The 5-minute ones are going to be divide this whole section into thirds. And so we just have a calculator that just does it for us here. It's all part of the program. Here's my red 5-minute. Here's my green 5 minute. And then when I come over here to, now we're looking here, is we're seeing that this price is coming right up to this, to our, well, that's the, which one is that one? I'll take that one off. And now we have our, here's our blue line, here's our 5 minute red, and we have our red and green in between here. And remember, like I said, once this, if this candle comes up on the 5 minute chart, if it comes up and closes above the 15, when it pulls back to the 15 the minute, this blue line, I can take that trade. If this is saying that the British pound is strong by 3. Right now it's a 6-0 spread right now. So if it comes up here, closes above on a 5 minute chart. So basically I'm looking at, this is what I'm looking for here on this move. We have a move. Now look at my chart here. We have a move up, get a close above, pull back, and then I can take it up to here. That's my target. And if it pulls back, I can take it from here, or I can take it all the way down to this area would be okay too. I could even take it down to here if I wanted to. I will probably, depending on how everything looks, I will probably take my trade here. If it pulls back here, I'll take another position. If it pulls back here, I'll take another position. If it comes back here, I'll be stopped out. So right now we're looking for a 5 minute candle to close above this blue line. That's what we're looking for right now. And the upper part of my curve is going to be this area right in here. This is going to be the red line. Now I can take it short. If it comes up and cannot close below here, this is going to be high on the curve, and I can take it short. This will be a red zone. This is going to be a red zone right in here. So we're waiting for that 5 minute candle to close. So right now, if I put this right here, I'm going to put a vertical line right here on the hour. This is at 108, 805. And so if once the candle before this line closes, that's my 5 minute candle. If it closes above this blue line, I'm clear to take this trade. If I have the spread on the 5 minute chart of 3 or more. So right now it's looking pretty good. Okay, now we can also see that right now this 5 minute, on this line, it did not close above the line. So now I got to move over to the next 5 minutes. Then move it to the 10 minute. And there again, now if I get a close above where that A is, anywhere on that A, if I get a candle to close on that A above here, the close, I'm going to take this trade. So right now we're still waiting. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our Aussie Swiss trade. Right now we are profitable. We're above our entry, and we're still looking for our target. And I'm still looking for the 7 pips. But if it comes up here because of the spread, if it comes up to this green line and can't close above, if it can't get my target in here, then I'll just close it out. If it struggles to get through this green line, now once it tags that green line, then I'm out of this trade. I take my profit, and then if it comes back here again, I can still take it again. So right now we're positive on that, and we're looking at the British. And we're still waiting for this thing to come in to give us our trigger to be able to take it long. But right now we can't do anything with this one yet. So I'm going to mark a alert on this one so we know when it crosses over. And we wait. Go into the next trade.
You've got another question in the
Okay.
yeah.
In the Hercules, is it only the color decide which pair is which? Yes, it's only the color that decides. And and let me do that for you. You can see on my Hercules chart. Basically, I have the New Zealand is yellow, and this is I just know what the colors are. New Zealand's yellow. The green was always going to be the Aussie. British is going to be purple. CAD's going to be orange. The Japanese yen is going to be black. The dollar is going to be blue. Euro is going to be red, and the Swiss is going to be a lighter blue. Now, when I go to the chart with the Hercules, I can change this to. I mean, I can put this. I can right click on my chart, change the settings, and it should be able to show you. I just don't do it because it just gets too cluttered for me. So, but I can put it on here for right now. Indicator name labels. So I put that on there. It should give me the name label here. Now with the Hercules, one thing that's nice about this is I can just look at just symbols only. So whatever chart I'm on, the Aussie Swiss, those are the only ones that are going to show up. Now I can change that to the settings of auto, which means it's going to give us all of them. And you can see where they all are referenced to each other. It takes a little while to propagate. I think I got them set here. Style. Yep. Just takes a little while for it to, there it goes. But usually when I'm just on the chart, I just like to just see the chart, the ones I'm looking at, and it will give you the value of that, of what they are, reference to the other. There's eight currencies that is looking at, starting with 0 to 7. 7's the highest, 0 is the lowest, the weakest. So I just usually go back to just symbols only when I'm just on these individual charts, because I can be looking at the other chart too. See, but I'll keep these up here so you can see what the colors are, get an idea of it. I can do that. Let it propagate back. There we go. And you see, oh, that from the 0 to 7, the Aussie's number 6 of 7. That means there's one stronger than that. But the Swiss is the weakest of the bunch. And there's a 3-point spread on our 1 minute chart. That means when you start getting a little bit of a pull, when it starts flipping over a little bit on the 1 minute, that generally just means it's just a pullback. That's why when we get the crossovers, I'm going to see it on the 5 minute chart. I'd like to see at least a 3-point spread on the 5 minute. Now you can see even that this is pulling back. I still have a 5-point spread, which means the Aussie, the Australian dollar, is still stronger to the Swiss, even in the pullback. Now, sometimes when it pulls back, you'll see that it'll flip over here. And that just means that it's just pulling back as long as these two, are still showing the strength of the higher time frame. So right now, still good on this trade right now. And let's see how this thing's doing. Okay, so you see, like right here, we still have not broken through the top. So I'll just move this on over, And right now we do not. Now we did get the cross of this. We cannot take, when it's in this red zone, we cannot take it long. Now, if it breaks above this 15 blue, this red zone now becomes a green zone, and we have a green zone up here because then we're looking at taking it on up to the next level. But as long as it's in this side of this range of the curve, and it's in the red zone, we're not going to be taking it long until it breaks and closes above this blue line. So right now we can be taking it short if we want to. But right now we need to make sure the criteria fits. And right now I don't see, I would like to see it, let's see where we at here. It's a red to green. We have our red point right there, so let me put that on. Here's a green 2 minute. You see there's over here, the label's over here on the right, on the left side. Here's my red. Red, oh, come on. Make sure you don't confuse the spread with the price with the red level. And I'll just lock all these into place. So right now I don't want to be taking this thing long. It did come up to the red line. It goes above. But right now I want to see it come down to the green. I would want to see it come down to the green line and then maybe come back and retest this to take it short. But right now I'm somewhat optimistic of the fact that the British pound is strong. I'm so optimistic that this thing's going to come on up and close above here, around the A, somewhere around the A. And move this one over. Ugh, I got them locked here. Gonna move this thing over to another 5 minutes. So that's the 15-minute. And it's probably, I don't think it's going to come up unless we get a really big, strong spike right now. Remember, we have an announcement at 8:30, another 15 minutes. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to 8:25, and I make this one, I'm just going to color this thing red for right now, so we don't forget that there's an announcement here. And that could make things move significantly with the US dollar. That's a CPI report I was telling you about. So we're going to change the color of I'm just going to change this to red because of the announcement pending. I'll make it a little thicker too so we can see it. We want to be aware of that. And we probably should do this on the other chart too that we're looking at, Aussie Swiss. Hopefully we'll get our target before then. But we had the announcement, I'll make it at 8:25. Just so we don't forget. As they were still in this trade, everything's still working out nicely for this one. And we started looking at this coming on up to our green line, our 2-minute fib line. Now the question is, are we just going to get a bounce off of here? If it tags that line and can't close, I'll close this trade out and wait for another entry down, wait for it to pull back again. The Aussie is still strong. Nice little strength on that. So as long as this thing stays strong, I'm good to stay in this trade. And so I'll take my 7-pip target, and then I'll wait for another chance to get back in again on the pullback. Questions? Is all this making sense to anybody?
You don't have any questions yet.
Yeah, gold, as I generally don't trade gold, we can take a look at the gold and see what gold looks like here while we're waiting for this. Let's see, Deutsche is 30. Let's move this over to gold. And go to 15-minute chart. You see the value. Now you see the values here are a little bit different. We're at $1,742, and then we're looking at cents now for pretty much for your pips. So I'm going to be looking at my. Here's my blue fib line. Here's my red. Now you can see how these are so much closer together. And one thing we can do when we start getting into these higher especially like gold, for example. Rather than using a 15-minute clock, I can use like a 1-hour clock and see if that finds the range a little bit better. You can see where from the blue to the green, you can see how it kind of fits better just by the price action and the value. So with this one, I would consider for gold, I would consider using the 1-hour chart and doing the same thing. Here's our green line. I like seeing where the range, I'm trying to find out where it's going sideways in between these two levels. And I can see where you can see it bounce right off the blue line right down here. So I'm going to make this one call it 15-minute blue, but this one's really going to be in 1 hour. I'm going to just change the label on this one. And then this is going to be a 1 hour green. I kind of like the range on this one a little bit better, especially with the fact that it has usually has such a big move on it. And then if I go to my 15-minute time frame, you'll probably see that you're going to see thirds. And here's my thirds. Here's my red. Here's my green. Now these are going to be pretty much 15-minute markers. And so I just be doing this on 15-minute green here. I'm gonna make these significantly thicker just because it's an hour.
Quick question, Al, would you enter the British CAD before the news, or would you wait? Even
British CAD, if I was not in it, I would wait till the news to pass. British CAD. We're looking at British
CAD, yeah.
Where's the British? What did I do? I don't have it on here, do I? I was looking at the British US.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's what he meant, British US.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not in it at before the news, which we're looking at 10 more minutes, at this point, I would probably not take it. Now, if it comes up and close it, if we get that candle on the news, I would probably still give it a few minutes before I actually took the trade. We'll see how it works and how it looks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. No, so I'm gonna go back to my 15-minute greens. I just made these a little bit thicker here. So just to separate it as being an hour. Generally, I said we're usually on the 15-minute, but like with this one being a 1700, I would probably do the same thing like with a crypto type of thing too, depending on what the range is. And so here's our 15-minute green.
Are they both supposed to be 15-minute greens?
No, this was supposed to be red here, I think. It's supposed to be red.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention here. Let's be red here. There we go. So here again, we have, actually this one needs to be blue, 1 hour. We said this was blue. Yep, that's blue. I'm gonna make this one blue. I generally don't have to do the 1 hour because we're usually in the 4x. But you can see we got the higher time frame close above here. Is coming back right now to that. Now I'm not going to take anything because of that announcement right now. But right here, I would be able to take the trade. We had to close above. It went up even higher. And we have a little, and the other thing is we have a trend line. You can see we have a trend. We're getting the close right now. If we were to take, we have this move up, qualified to take the trade long, waiting for the pullback. It qualifies for the pullback. I'm still going to pass on this. One, I don't trade gold, but if I were, I still wait until after the announcement, which is going to be another 8 minutes. Now, what I would be looking at is that we have a trend line coming up here. That's a significant trend line. And actually, if I pull it back here a little bit further, you can see this is the low. Here's the first hit. Here's a near hit, which is still a higher low. Just cut the wick there. I can take one little wick violation of a trend line. So now I could take this trade long here, or I could take it long I can take it there, or I could take it, bounce off the trend line, or if I wanted to be even more conservative, I'd wait till here. The thing is, the longer you wait, the less likely you are to be able, if this thing does have the strength to the upside, the less likely you are that you may miss the trade entirely. So now pick your poison. But here's the first leg up. There's a strong move up, which is off of a hit. Comes on up. It qualified on this candle right here. It qualified. It came all the way up to here. Come back here. I can take it long here. I can take it there. And then my target's going to be the blue line. And if you look at the distance between here and here, this would be, in this case, it would be a move of about a $6 move on the gold. Okay. We got about 5 more minutes. Let's see how our Aussie Swiss trade's doing here. No, we were up, came up, didn't tag it, so we're still good to be able to take. We did get the close above over here, so this still qualifies to be able to take the trade somewhere in this area. We could be able to take it there. We're still able to take it here, even though it didn't tag it. This still qualifies to be able to take the trade here. So this will give you another opportunity to. If you miss this move, this is giving you another opportunity to take it. Let's see, where's my zero line here? Actually, I kind of like this one down. Oops. Now, I don't consider this to be an overly strong move from here. Now, from this point to here, it's lost. You can see the angle. If I move this and you see the angle of this one has a much steeper angle. This candle was the qualifier. This was the high. Again, we can take it if it hits the red line or this line. I said we're still in this trade, and this is, again, this is our first target area. This is our 7 pips right here. But I would also be willing to take my profit off where the C is, because we're still wanting it to tag this green line right here. Once it tags the green line, we're already in this. If we take our profit off up here, so right now this is our target zone, our profit zone right here. Now this is the 7 pips there, but anywhere in between here and here, I would be willing to take it off, because you don't know if it's going to come up and actually break through enough to get your spread. We have almost a 3-point spread, so this is going to, you have to be careful with that. This would be the target. Let's see, there's the 2, that's the 2-minute line right there. Here's our announcement coming in about 3 more minutes. There's our 30 minutes. So we're watching this candle as we're approaching the announcement, the CPI report. We're watching the price action here. Depending on what it does, it may get us right in to take our profit here. Any questions?
No questions. Two minutes, huh?
Yeah, about 2 more minutes.
So Let's see what happens.
When I say about trading views, it gives you a little clock about when this candle is going, when this 5-minute candle is, right now it says that we have 1 minute and 33 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I like that on TradingView as well.
And if we go to our 1-minute chart, it says that right now we got 24 seconds before. Remember, it said when the last candle to close before this red line is going to be our 5-minute candle. Remember, we're still looking to have it close above. Well, it's already been closed above. We've already validated the trade. And the trade was validated off this blue candle right here, where I'm going to put the 8. This candle right here validated the trade. Actually, I thought it came back and tagged this red line, but didn't. It came within the spread of it. There's 77, 75. It's less than 1 pip spread, so no, I'm okay. Anything within a pip of the target, I'm willing to take that trade. Here's the announcement coming up. This is the last candle before the announcement. About another 3 seconds. Boom. There's our target. You think that was significant announcement there?
Just a little bit.
That's wild.
And there's my alert.
That's wild.
So right now I've taken the profit off this. I'm going to take my profit. The spread didn't get me out, so I just took it out myself off of that candle. Now, why I didn't take the spread, I mean, here's at 77. My target was up here on 70. Look at the spread right now. Check this out right now. It was about 2.5. Now, as soon as that announcement hit, the spread, they widened the spread to 3.6, maybe but higher than that. It was enough to where, even though I had my target set here, the spread still did not get me out. That's why I closed it out myself. So now, the fact we got to close above here, now, and we actually now, and this thing could go on up to, I mean, this would be target 2 up here. But now, what I can do is I can wait for it to come back, and I can take another entry if it comes back to this area right in here. Now that I tagged the green, I have to wait. I can wait for it to come back here. If it comes up here and tags this 15-minute green line, then I can take it off of this one. Right now, we're waiting for a pullback back to where the B is to take another position on that. And so right now we're waiting, and I'm just going to put an alert on the red line. And when it comes back there, I know I can maybe take another trade on that. If it doesn't, well, we already made our target on that one. How's gold doing with this? Gold did pretty much the same thing. Here is the okay. This red candle was the 15-minute. Let's see, wait, I want a 15-minute chart. Let me get back to my 1 minute. We go to a 5-minute chart. Since we already talked about gold, let's just take a look at it here. Let's see. We have some closes here at 650. So this right here, that price is at 655. So this candle qualified. This candle qualified to be able to take it short here. So right here is we could be taking, excuse me, we could be taking long Once it hit this red line, it did. We also have our trend line here. So I would say if you can take it long here, or we can take it long bouncing off the trend line, or we could take it long down here. We get into the trade, and then the target would be, so right, if we use that red line to enter, the target would be the next, well, we already had they already did clear out all the wicks there. I go to my 1 minute chart and see where our zones are. We need to go, remember we're using hourly time frames here. So if this is a 15, I need to use a 5 on this one. So this would be one of the targets, and this would be the target here. If this sounds confusing, just bear with us and just keep coming back into the room and you'll start getting the hang of it. Let's see, this is going to be, if we're going to use the 5 minute range. This is 5 minute red. Here's a 5 minute green. So if we entered here, which we would have if we were trading this, here was the first target, here's the second target, here's the third target. And right about there, I'd be out of this trade. If I took it down here, I'd definitely be out of this trade right now. And then if we get to close above, let's see if this can close above this area right here. Pretty violent report. I mean, the CPI reports definitely have some punch to them. I'll go back to my 5 minute chart. Let's see if I get a 5 minute close above this blue line. If we do, then I can take it.
Wow, it's going through the roof, eh?
It's just gone through the roof here. I think that report has some meat to it. So then I could take it here. Get back to my 15 minute chart and get the next zones here. Next 15 minute zone is going to be this green line right here. Where's my 15 minute green? We're going to call this one. Make it green here. There we go. And this would be the target. Let's go back to our 5 minute. I started usually looking at the 5 minute close above these. Now, again, with the gold, you may want to think about different, but right now I'm using the 5 minute close above. So once this candle closes on a 5 minute chart, we still have another 2 minutes and 15 seconds for this candle to close. This thing could pop all the way back down here. So right now we're still waiting to see. Questions? Let's see. How about the index? Do you have anything on the indices there, Eva?
I've just been checking them. They're not really they're kind of trying to line up. But there's nothing that I see that I'm willing to take just yet because it's
Okay.
not exactly how my strategy. The MMAs aren't lined up. For those of you that have seen me do my trading strategy, my moving averages have got to line up, and they aren't. So until they do, I don't like to get into them. And the US ones, I don't like to trade until after market opens anyway, because just the way they move, if you happen to be in it or your thing triggers because you've got a pending when the market opens, it could totally go wrong for you. So I'd rather wait for it. So at this moment, but I did do my strategy on the gold, and I would have hit profit as well. I didn't actually do a trade. I just set it up how I would have entered and whatnot. But right now, no, the UK 100 is actually getting close to going where I want it to go as far as the MMAs go, but it's not quite ready yet. It's like baking a cake. It's just not done yet. So I'm keeping my eyes on it. So I will let you know if anything comes up in the next couple of minutes.
Now, here's something to pay attention to here, not to interrupt you there, Eva, is that as this candle closes, if it closes above the blue line, I said right now, remember we said that we don't take a long in the red area. We only take a long in the green. Now, if this thing closes, which it looks like it's another 10 seconds, it's going to do that. We'll see where this candle closes. If this thing closes, that makes this green. And then that makes this the overshoot of this will still be green as well then. What was once resistance is now support. So I'd make this one green as well. Okay, we got the close right there. Here's the wick. So right now I can take this thing long if it comes back here, and I can take it long all the way down to, maybe even from here or here, either one. This one is now green. So now we're looking for longs up into the next zone, which is B. This qualifies. It closed above in 5 minutes. If it pulls back to the blue line, I can take it here. Or I could take it here. Or I can take it here. You have three choices. Depends how aggressive you want to be. I have a trend line. Or I can even take, if you want to wait, you can always wait for it to come back and retest the trend line, which again, this one's still valid. But you're also starting to get a little bit further away from this strong move up. I would be more apt to be looking at this area at this point. If it breaks through here, then, because they've got 62 moving average right there, which we're not really paying that much attention to, the moving averages right now. Not that I just don't want to complicate the system here right with this. So here's the anchor. Where's my, if I use this for the, whoops, wrong one. If I use this for the first hit, this is a retest. This is just kind of caught the wick in there. So right now, this is still a valid trend line, but it does look like you can see where the curve has sort of changed a little bit from here to here. So the angle has changed because of this strong move up. So there's nothing wrong with taking another trend line to here. And you could be looking at move that into this area right in here. If we get a close below this 15-minute green line, if we get a close below that on this pullback, all bets are off, and now starting to maybe reverse back to retest this one. But right now, this is still showing it's got energy to the upside. The dollar is weak, with the dollar, which is the blue line, down here with our RCS tool. The dollar is weak, the gold is strong. And that makes sense. Gold is still the flight to safety with a weak dollar.
Actually, it's a good question in the Q&A. How long does news affect the market? And a general rule of thumb would be to stay out of a trade regarding that particular currency 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after.
Yep.
the
Yeah, I
news.
think I think 15 minutes is a good benchmark to use.
Good question.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see, how's our time? We have about 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Let me just have a quick look here.
And this gold looks like it was a good trade today. I mean,
Yeah.
if it follows this pattern enough, I may have to start taking that. But right now, I'm okay with just watching gold and just get a better feel for it. And the thing is, you want to get a feel for what some of these currencies and indices they have a certain feel to them, and you kind of get a feel for how they work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if this thing goes up to this green 15-minute, if it closes above, you can take it here, and then you can move all this stuff, all these levels. You can just kind of move them on up. Like I say, with gold, I feel more comfortable using the 1 hour time frames with the gold. Now, here's the 1 hour blue. Here's the if I go to now, the fact it's all the way up here, I might get another one to be able to see 5 minutes. Let me go back to my 15-minute chart.
Did we have some kind of Euro news today too, Al?
There was something at 10:30. What was the
Oh, 10:30.
at 10:30? There was something at 10:30. That was the crude oil inventory. That was yeah. We want to pay attention to the Canadian dollar. If you look at the Canadian dollar, see where the Canadian dollar is right now. You can see it's starting to gain some strength. If the dollar comes up here, the dollar, U.S. dollar, CAD, around 10:30, I would expect to see these two being somewhat split apart. But right now, I'm looking at the New Zealand and U.S. dollar, New Zealand, U.S. dollar, New Zealand, all across the board. New Zealand strong against the dollar. So let's take a look at that. And let's go to our 15-minute chart, New Zealand USD. Bring the chart up, clean it all out, start over again. You can see that was affected by that CPI report. Again, it was a dollar move. All right, so the New Zealand is the first currency of the pair. It's going to be yellow. So we should have a yellow and a blue line down here. You see the strength down here with our Hercules. 7-0, 7-0. That's a 7-point spread, 7-point spread all the way across. So look at our 15-minute chart, mark our lines. We're right at a red line. Here's the blue line. So we got the close on it. We have a 15-minute close above our red line. So this is our new playground from this blue to the red. So I'll mark my, make sure I got a 15-minute. Yep, double check that if you start moving things around. There's a blue 15-minute. Here's our red 15-minute. We got the close above. Red 15 right there. So we got the close above. So what I remember what we said, we get the close above, we can take it long if it pulls back to the red line. Go to my 5-minute chart. So I can take it long. In that area right there. Go to my 5-minute chart. I'm on 5 minute. Here's a 5-minute green right there. Here's a 5-minute red down below. Remember, any 15-minute line is going to be a blue line on the 5 and the 2. Let me say that again. Any 15-minute line is going to be blue on the 5-minute and the 2-minute. So this is going to be 5-minute red. And then we're going to have 3 zones between this one and this one for our targets. So if I go now, I can go to my 1-minute chart. And here's our, remember, we can say we can take it long down here. Here's our green line. This is our green 2-minute. When it comes back down here, we can take this thing long. And I can put a pending order in. So I can go buy, limit, 7 pips, stop 15, and I risk 2%. And this has my value, what the lot size can be for the buy limit, and I can place my order. And I want to be right down in there. We have 1.6 spread. I can maybe move this thing up a little bit here, just to trying to get into the trade. That's subjective. And if so, right now I'm looking for this action here. Here's a strong move up. We had our 5-minute close, pulls back to the red line. And the first target would be here and here. Actually, let me do this. Let's deal with this one here. So here's the 0. We had the 5-minute close. This was at, pull back to the red line. Target 1, target 2, target 3. You see 40 right there. This candle did not qualify, so I've got to go to where it's 45 minutes past the hour. This candle right here was the candle that validated the long position when it gets down here. And then this would be target 1, target 2, and target 3 if you want to go for 3 targets. I usually just go for the 7 pips for the first one, wait for a pullback, get it in the second time, and then do it all over again. Questions? And then my stop. So here's be the first target.
Let me ask the question when you say questions.
Okay. Go ahead. Ask away.
I wanted to ask you before the session was over. Sorry, not to do with this trade, but how do we get people into our Trade Masters Telegram channel? I don't know how to invite them in.
Oh boy,
and, I've been asked that question during this session. How
yeah, because we need to get the word out to get them into our Telegram so they can get these updates and get this information as we try to pass it on.
How do we do that? Brian can invite people in. Where's the invite link? How can
Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
View group information. Trade Master. Oh, this is always where I get challenged. I'm looking to see where to find the link.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have access to the link. I'm gonna have to ask Brian if he can change that so that I can, when they ask to get in there, they can.
You should be able to maybe do a search in the Telegram for Trade Masters community. See if that works. Let me see. Trade Masters community. Let me try that. Huh.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't.
figure
We'll
it
have to
out.
try and I got to find that out so we can pass that on. It should also be in the Hawkeye. We usually post it in the Hawkeye strategy channel as well.
To get into Trade Masters.
Yeah,
Trade Masters community, but there's nothing.
but there should be there's a Hawkeye. We have a Hawkeye channel as well.
Well, we have a Hawkeye channel, but I've not seen anything in there for Trade Masters.
Maybe, excuse me, maybe in the Hawkeye channel, they can ask Brian, for the Trade Masters link.
We're not allowed to type in the Hawkeye channel. Nobody has that.
Ah,
authority
that's
other than-
okay.
Yeah, we can.
You're correct.
We can type in there, but
Yeah.
we always post things in that channel is what we do.
Yeah. So in this one, it's okay. We'll figure it out hopefully for tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
we'll see if we can find that information through channel information. Let's see what that says.
and then we'll get it. I mean, even Amy's even got the authority to do it. So, because I know she put Sunita in the Trade Masters community. So, I don't know, but anyway, we'll figure it out. And
Yeah, we'll try and get that information to you. I'll research that and try and get back to you on that.
yeah. No, Shay. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Shay Way. Sorry. It has 75 members in it currently, not 211. Yeah, I think you're thinking of the Trade Masters has 75 members in it. Hawkeye has 255 in it. So you're looking for the one that's got, it's called Trade Masters Community. So see if you can locate it that way.
And the community is in parentheses.
Yeah.
It looks like it's two words: trade, TRAIDE, masters, and then communities in parentheses.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Pin view group information. I would think the group information would.
Daniela, how are you adding people on Trade Masters? I can't access anything. If you could let me know, that would be great, because I don't see any kind of invite link. I don't know how I can add people in there.
Try it. Just I'm gonna put this in the chat box. Just try a Telegram search for that Trade Masters community like that, and that should allow you to get into it.
Okay.
See if that works.
To try what? Sorry, Al?
I put it in the chat box, Trade Masters community. If they just type that into the search box in Telegram, it should be, I would think maybe that will pop up and then you can put it into your.
Nothing in there. You didn't put anything in the chat box.
No, I did. It's in the chat box.
Is it just me? Am I not seeing any of this stuff?
From me to, oh, wait, maybe it was just Christine. Hang on, let me see something here. Oh, everyone, just try this. Maybe that was it.
Drive me crazy.
Yeah, I'd like to do that to you.
There's 75 members in there, Shay.
Yeah, but try that. There should be, now everybody should see that. Trade Masters community. Type that into the search box in the Telegram and see if that doesn't do the trick for you.
I still don't see it. And neither does Leslie. Oh,
Really?
Leslie, it's there now.
Okay.
I still don't see it though, for some reason.
Well, I can't help that. So just, oh, good. Somebody made some money on gold. Great. That was a nice, actually, that was a nice little gold trade. That fits the bill. And actually, this New Zealand dollar is working out very nicely as well. It's coming on up to our target. It's coming up to target 1 right there. Like I said, if it comes up and hits that green line and can't break through it, a lot of times I'll just take the profits, wait for it to come back again. Right now, it's still a valid trade. I said we have it's valid. This was the first validity. If it comes back again, it's still valid. And I usually like keeping my stop just a little bit below here. And a lot of times, if I like the trade, I'll take it the second time. Take it here, may take another position, pulls back, because if I take what position here, and I take one here, my average position is going to be, especially if I take the same level, is going to be right in the middle, and then you don't have that far to go before you break even. So you take it here, break even is going to be right about in the middle. Maybe a little bit less because of the spreads, but you get the idea. So that way, if it just comes back up and retests this line here, you're profitable. Now, if it starts breaking down even more, then you may want to reconsider how deep you want to go with that. But I'm usually okay with at least a 14 pip spread from the high to the next low. This oftentimes is a trap right down in here. There's a little bit of an area right here, which I would consider to be a trap. And that would be people are thinking it's going to go short when it's really just going to be going trap. You see how it came down right into that area? It took back up again. So this is still a valid, we could actually call this a Sherlock demand zone. Okay. Well, we're at 9 o'clock hour. We made a little bit of money this morning. Hope everybody learned something. And any last minute questions before we go? Going once, going twice? Nope. All right.
None
Well,
here.
again, we thank everybody for coming. We love having every one of you here. Hopefully you're learning something, and we'll see everybody tomorrow, same time, 7:30 to 9. See you then. Stay green.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everybody. God bless.